Well, it's been a month. Let's talk about C2E2. Hey everyone, hope you're having a great day. At the beginning of April, I attended this year's Chicago Comic and Entertainment Expo, also known as C2E2. Now, I'm an experienced C2E2 goer. I've been going ever since about 2012, and I've been kind of going there every so often. When I started dating my now wife, I took her to C2E2, and she really got into it as well. The last few years we haven't been going as much due to real life issues going on and things. But when we have been going the past few years, we've been taking my nieces as like a Christmas gift. And that's what we did this year. We got them tickets for the weekend to go to C2E2. And so I thought, let's talk about some of the things that, my experience. I'm going to divide this video up into a couple different parts. First, I'm going to talk about the different panels and things that we saw and did there. Then I'll talk about the junk that I bought, and then talk about some of the things that I dressed up as. So, we'll kind of go through in that order, and hopefully you'll find some of this interesting. I don't know. On the Friday that we attended, where are the dates of C2E2? I have my badge here. It doesn't say on the badge. Well, I'll put the dates right there because I can't remember off the top of my head. On the Friday we went there. We got there kind of first thing in the morning because we like to get there early, and we wanted to go see the Lord of the Rings panel. They had a reunion of all the hobbits and John Rhys Davies, and I think that's how you pronounce his name, and Andy Serkis. I am not the biggest Lord of the Rings fan, so this wasn't a big thing for me necessarily, but my wife was a huge fan of Lord of the Rings, so she was excited to go and see him. So we got there early so we can get a good seat, and unfortunately we did not. The main auditorium room, the main stage, was filled up, so we had to go into the overflow room, which they had the panel up on a screen. First, my wife was very disappointed by that because she really wanted to see them, but when she got in there and got to see them on the screen, she was pretty happy with it. Me, less so. It just was super hot in there, and we're all crammed in like sardines. And it was just, I couldn't hear very well on the screen. So it wasn't, I didn't think that experience was very good. But again, my wife was a Lord of the Rings fan, so she was happy with it. So that's all that kind of matters in that. Now, that panel was the first one on Friday at 10 o'clock. The show opened at 9. The following day, the Saturday, was the Breakfast Club reunion panel. And we wanted to get there. We were going to get there super, super early. In fact, one of my nieces couldn't attend on that Saturday because she had a volleyball tournament. So we gave her ticket for the day to the Gorehound. So it was great to have the Gorehound come. It was the first time he'd been at C2E2 for several years. And when I was talking to him the night before, he said, "Hey, we're going to be at your house at 7 o'clock. Be ready to go." And he's like, "All right, I'll be ready at 7:30. We're like, no. 7 o'clock. And he's like, "All right, do you think we could stop for coffee on the way?" It's like, "Nope, we don't have any time to stop." And maybe that was a little too hardcore, but we wanted to make sure we got there after the experience on Friday. So we picked him up. We drove down to McCormick Place, got a good parking spot right up in front. And we were like probably one of the first few in line for the general audience. And we were there for about 2 hours sitting there. And once we opened up, my wife said, "Okay, you and Gorehound bolt, get us a seat." And so we did. We, of course, were told, "No running," at which I responded, "Not running," because I was walking fast, and a reference to that old DQ commercial you might remember from a few years back.
Not running!
But we got there. We got in, and we were able to get seats in like the second row of the regular attendance. So that was great. So we got to see it pretty well. I'll show you a picture. They had a picture of me taking a picture of the video screen that was showing the audience there to see where we were. And that Breakfast Club panel was pretty cool. It was awesome to see them all together. It's, I guess, the first time they've been together like that, and probably since the original movie, especially in the Chicagoland area where they filmed. Judd Nelson, who I always got the impression was a bit of a hermit, was a real chatty Cathy, as was Molly Ringwald, and Anthony Michael Hall. Emilio Estevez, who I guess doesn't do these panels or conventions too often, he didn't have a lot to say. Probably didn't know what to say or how to say. But and Ali Sheedy was very, very quiet, which I guess that seems like that's just her. So, but no, that was really cool. They're passing out these little things you attach to your badge, and I randomly got the basket case. I don't know if that fits my personality or not, but hey, I'll take it. Why not? Later on that day, we tried to get into the Futurama reunion panel, but unfortunately, we did not get there in time. It was full, and they didn't have an overflow room, so we missed it. And honestly, that's okay because both my wife and I were just exhausted. We just were like, we're going to sit down. There was a RoboCop panel that was there that day as well, which we missed out on. Which it's okay too. On Sunday, we went to a panel where we about haunted Chicago, and they were talking about graveyards, and we were excited about that. It's kind of cool to talk about ghost sightings and all that. I don't know if I believe in ghosts or anything like that, but those stories are always interesting to me. But the panel was kind of a letdown, in my opinion. Sorry if you put on that panel and you're watching this. It was like 95%. Here's the history about these graveyards and the people buried, and 5%. Here are the ghostly experiences that people have. And it's like, I was expecting a little bit more. One of the other panels I went to, which was on Friday actually, was the Nacelle Company talking about Star Trek action figures. Nacelle is putting out a new line of Star Trek action figures, 6 to 7 inches, that allegedly might be complementing the Diamond Select figures from several years ago. Headed up by Brian Volk-Weiss. Not sure I pronounced that correctly. But boy, oh boy, is this guy a Star Trek super fan. You couldn't get anyone better to oversee a product line like this. And the product that are coming out is pretty impressive. I wasn't planning on getting into this line, but after hearing this guy talk, it's kind of like, well, maybe I should. I mean, the figures are going to be about $30, and they're just loaded with stuff. An upcoming Captain Kirk figure is going to come with a friggin' horse. And it was the perfect panel to attend. It wasn't crowded. Everyone in there was all Star Trek fans, so there were people dressed up in Star Trek costumes. And it allowed you to ask some questions, get more, not one-on-one back and forth conversation, but things you could talk about. And you weren't like rushed through. It was more leisurely, more casual. Not a lot of people were asking questions at first, so I kind of got the ball rolling on that, which is I'm surprised I did. My first question was really stupid. I asked a few more questions throughout because not a lot of people were asking him questions about the figures and different things they can do and just questions in general. One of them that I was really happy with, he said it was the funniest thing he had heard all day, so got job accomplished, was they were talking about the scene in Star Trek 4 when Scotty's trying to talk about the computers, and there's the scientist engineer he's talking with, and someone said, you make your figure out of him. And then I added on to that saying, oh, you should make a figure with him, a 2-pack, convention exclusive 2-pack with him and Madeline. And he laughed. And he knew how ridiculous that was, but he also knew what the references. And that's a bit of a deep cut for Star Trek fans.
Not now, Madeline.
Yeah, great panel. I'm excited about what the Nacelle Company is having to do with these Star Trek figures and everything else. So beyond going to panels, I have to say the convention itself was still pretty fun. The booths were laid out. A lot of toy booths and collectible booths. I think is becoming more and more, and I've noticed this trend for years now. I feel the comic books are being downplayed at the comic book convention, which is disappointing to me because I love going through comic book booths and finding deals, and you just don't have that as much anymore. Or maybe I wasn't looking in the right spot. I don't know. Gorhan had mentioned that he really liked the setup of McCormick Place this year, that they've really improved and upped their game about how they lay everything out. I gotta agree. The lines, or not the lines, the aisles weren't as close together and jam-packed. There still was some of that, but not as much. Artist Alley is still in the back, so that hasn't changed. There's more space around where people could sit and rest. Galloping Goat Arcade was there again this year, and there's more space in their arcade. So I don't know if they just had fewer vendors, whether it was by choice or by happenstance, but it definitely allowed people to space out a little bit more, which was nice. My nieces, I think, had a great time. They got to meet, one of them got to meet John DiMaggio Bender from Futurama. She got him to sign a Jake the Dog picture. And my other niece got to meet Cal Dodd, who voiced Wolverine in the old and now new X-Men cartoon. And he was joking around with her name, trying to sing it, which was funny and weird at the same time. But they were both excited about what they got there, so that was that. But what they really loved doing was the LARPing. They encountered LARPing the last time we took them to C2E2, and my nieces, watch out. They are hardcore when it comes to this. Don't. If you're LARPing and they're there, you will not win. They will destroy you because they are super competitive, and they will. Yeah, that's all I can say about that. They will take you on and take you down. And they're doing it for hours, no end in sight. They would still be there to this day if we didn't say we had to go home. So also, I got to meet up with some people that I haven't seen up. I mentioned Gorehound, got to him. I also got to meet up with Jen, who used to do, and hopefully she'll come back at some point, the all new Culture Cast with me and the Gorehound, and her husband Thor from Thor's Hour of Power. So it was good to meet up with them, talk with them for a little bit. Hadn't seen them in a while, so it was good to connect. I also ran into and took a small video of the Cinema Snob.
It's Brad from the Cinema Snob.
He was really nice to make a little video for my other friends Mike and Corinne, who used to do the podcast as well. Hopefully they'll come back at some point in time too, who are big fans of him. So that was nice of him to allow me to do a little video message for my friends there. So besides all of that stuff that was all around, you go to these conventions, you buy lots of junk, crap you don't need ultimately, and I'm no exception to that. And my wife bought a lot of stuff too, a lot of nice things. She likes spending money on the independent artists, and there were quite a few independent artists there. And I've noticed there's more craft sort of things that are happening at the C2E2 over time, which is nice to see. I know my wife bought a little Wonder Woman hand purse. She bought some playing cards that were really nice, high-end playing cards. She bought some hair clips and things, so she got a lot of cool stuff, and some cool artwork we bought for my kids. A couple of superheroes as cats, like Ghost Spider and Wonder Woman as cats, which is kind of cool. We'll hang them in their room at some point in time. But as for the stuff that I wasted my money on, first of all, I got this Indiana Jones Adventure Series Raiders of the Lost Ark Indiana Jones action figure. I've been looking for this forever. Could never find it in stores. At the few other shows I've gone to, couldn't find it there. I was really excited when I saw this and other Adventure Series figures. I wasn't buying anyone. I just wanted standard Indiana Jones. $20 at Mr. Wayne's Toy Depot. It's in Westmont. I'll put the actual name of the place up there. They were having nice people that I talked to them. They have a good deal. $20 each, or 2 for $30, which that's not bad. Since $20 is about on par with something like this would go for. So really excited about that. Also picked up some Lego minifigures. I love the custom ones. This one here, Michael Jordan. And this one here, Bob Ross. Oh, it's fuzzy. There we go. Bob Ross. So that'd be fun to add to the minifigure collection. I need to make a minifigure display because we're really doing a lot of collection of them. I've got this. They're passing this one. I don't know. Alright, whatever. My wife noticed this, so we got this. Pillage the Village. It's like it's a dice game of some kind. So with dragons. So my wife and I have been playing more and more games lately. So this will be fun to get into there. So it's kind of a neat little thing, and it's supporting independent artists. So that's cool there. I'm a White Sox fan, and the White Sox were there, so I spun the wheel to get some free stuff. So I got White Sox magnet, and this is what's really cool. I like this. This is a little flag, little banner of all the different logos the White Sox have had over the years. So I was really tickled to get this. This is going to be cool. I'm going to hang this up. Maybe I'll put it in my office at work. That'd be kind of fun. So, something else I picked up. I wasn't going to get this, but I found it. It's the Super 7 Ultimates Ninja Turtle Mondo Gecko. See his little image there. I wasn't planning on getting the Super 7, any of that there, but I passed this booth, and they were selling this for $12. Mondo Gecko was my favorite figure of the original Ninja Turtle toy line. I still have my original. And for $12, okay, you win. I'm going to get this. The dealer was trying to get rid of all of his non-Transformers stuff. He wants to focus on that. They also had the Super 7 Donatello, which Donnie's my favorite turtle. My wife asked, why did you get that? And he was selling for 20. I told her, if I got that, then I'd have to go about and get all the other turtles because I just know how I am. And she's like, fair point. And this guy is just like a one-off you can have on your shelf. So that's kind of cool there. I also got the one comic that I got. Action Comics 742. You might know if you watch this channel that I've been trying to collect the Electric Superman saga. So this adds to it. I was hoping to get way more, but I couldn't find any of the other issues from around this time. So, oh well. But that's another one down there. I almost forgot. I did get 2 comic books signed. First, Absolute Superman #1 by Jason Aaron. So that was cool. I'm enjoying this series so far, so that's kind of neat. And one of my favorite series, Earth X #0, got signed by Bill Reinhold. Reinhold. I previously had signed by Alex Ross and Jim Cougar, which Bill Reinhold. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I don't even know. Bad at pronouncing names. I was like, oh, you got them? Like, oh yeah, I got them. I got them like 20 years apart. And they looked at me like dead on and said, I'm at C2E2 every single year. And it was very strange. Like, I don't want to say accusatory, but kind of accusatory. Like, I'm sorry I didn't go to you sooner. I don't go to the show every year. I'm sorry. This is weird. I don't know. But he signed this, so I got, another person who worked on this series. Great series. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend it, especially if you're a Marvel fan. So yeah, that's kind of the stuff that I spent money on for myself there. Not a whole lot at the end of the day, but, just a few select things. So hoping I was going to spend more on comics, but again, I feel like the comic stuff is less and less, and the stuff that is there is like older stuff that's pricey. I don't know. Just my lament, I suppose. But anyway, let's talk about something fun. I did dress up. I never used to be a big convention cosplayer sort of thing, but I started to when my wife started going. She's like, we're going to dress up more and more. So now I'm kind of into it. On Friday, I dressed up as a Ghostbuster. I did not have my Ghostbuster pack because I didn't want to lug that around. But I did have my uniform. You can see in this picture here with me and Jason Aaron again. And when I was walking around, I saw some other Ghostbusters. I chatted with them. I spoke to a couple with really awesome costumes, really aged and weathered and all of that. The Nemers. The gentleman was really tall, looked like David Harbour in my opinion. Real nice couple. I was asking him about the belt gizmo because no one's ever made the belt gizmo. He had one they bought on Etsy. He shared the link with me, so that was nice of him. I got to look into that. But he's hopeful that Spirit or Hasbro or someone will make a belt gizmo. I'm not holding my breath, but you never know. Hopefully. We'll see. I don't know. But they were a nice couple. So if they're watching this, which I know they're not, it was nice to briefly meet you. On the second day, I dressed up as very much a deep cut kind of thing. I have part of the costume here. I dressed up as Flipor, who, if you follow toy tubers on YouTube, you might recognize as Mad Hatter's action figure that he created. For those of you who don't know, Flipper is a figure he created in the style of a Masters of the Universe He-Man figure, who was supposed to be a toy flipper. A very satirical take. I don't know, the figure has not been released, at least as of C2E2. I don't know if it's come out since yet. But I was looking at the figure one day online. I thought, I can make a costume out of that. So I quickly slapped it together over a week's time. I'm pretty happy how it turned out. I had to make some concessions, but I don't think anyone recognized who I was. I saw someone dressed up as He-Man. I should have got a picture with him, but I didn't. I missed out on that. Missed out of an opportunity there. But I will say this. I'm going down and making this bold claim. I'm the very first Flipper cosplayer. No one else has done it before. I'm making that claim right now. Comments down below if you think someone else did it. But yeah, April, whatever, 2025, first week of April, Flipper cosplayer, me, C2E2 in Chicago. Mark it. All kidding aside, it was kind of fun to dress up and actually put a costume together from scratch, which is something I never really did, and started using foam. So maybe I'll play around more with that in the future. And then on Sunday, I threw on my Red Letter Media shirt from Lightning Fast VCR Repair. It's an easy costume to put on because it looks like regular clothes, so you can go about and people won't give you like, what are you doing? What are you wearing? And but if you know what it is, you know it. I saw some other people wearing that as well, so it's cool. I've had mine for several years now, so it's kind of neat seeing more people kind of doing that. Definitely had a YouTuber kind of cosplay sort of thing. And so that's my experience at C2E2. I had a good time. Every year I say at the end of C2E2, I'm like, nope, I'm done with this. Forget it. But every year I keep coming back for more and more. I don't know if I'll go next year, of course. But it was fun. It was very tiring. I always like taking the day off afterwards just to recoup. My nieces had fun, so that's the important thing. That they had a great time. And I think my wife had enjoyed it as well. It's fun getting different crazy things at the at this and seeing what people make and all of that. So yeah, so that's my experience. Hopefully you enjoyed listening me ramble on here for 20 minutes or so about my C2E2 experience. If you went, I'd love to see your comments, what you experienced and everything else. But yeah, so that was that. So thank you for watching, and I hope you have yourself a great day.